Have you been told to keep your knees behind your toes while squatting, but find this awkward and uncomfortable? Hey everyone, this is Dr. Zach Green here, Performance, Sport, and Spine. In today's video, I'll be discussing how this myth started, why it isn't true, and then some exercises to help break the habit. So how did this myth start? Well, with lots of things. It was misinterpretation and taken out of context. So one study found that if people block their knees or don't let them translate past their toes, it decreases the stress in the knees by 22%, as we demonstrate here. However, by doing this, you put more force and load into your back and hips, and that was increased by 1,070%. So the problem here is that we're protecting the knees at the expense of the hips. So the knee is not special. We don't want to protect one joint more than the others, the ankle, the low back, or the hip. So one way to think about it is think about it like this. If your knee can handle 1,000 pounds of force, for example, and squatting with your knees past your toes puts 300 pounds of force on it, we'd only decrease it by 22%. There's already a huge buffer. And if you do limit that range of motion, that weight on your back, that load's not changing. And so if you limit the range of motion in the knee, it's going to go into your hip or your back or somewhere else. So we're protecting something that doesn't need protected while potentially overloading another area. And then the second point is just common sense. Since you've been watching this video for a few minutes, there's been hundreds of thousands of people that have squat with their knees past their toes. Walk into any gym anywhere and you're going to see it. Again, this is a normal movement, and somehow we've contrived that it needs to be restricted and artificial. And if this myth is 1A, 1B would be we have to squat with our feet straight forward, shoulder width apart. And again, this may work for some and horrible for others. So there's lots of different variations in our body type, from our pelvis shape to our femur length, to just our ratio of our limbs to our torso. So again, often people will find that this is not very comfortable, and if you want to further explore this, we have a video of this that we'll put in the description below. So another issue here is it's going to limit your mobility or your squatting depth. So if you squat with your knees restricted, you're going to bend your torso forward and you're going to have a hard time breaking parallel. And it's probably going to be uncomfortable in the anterior hips and put some tension in your low back. On the contrary, if you keep your weight over your midfoot and squat down, kind of utilizing your whole body in good form, you can make much better depth, and it's probably just going to feel more comfortable. Again, you should move in a way that feels good. You shouldn't have to force yourself to move in some kind of artificial pattern. The body kind of knows what it should do. So now I've shown you why you can have your knees past your toes. Now I'm going to show you some exercises to help break the habit and get you more comfortable doing that. So the first exercise is just a box squat. Get a box or a chair and then stand in front of it. Place your weight on your midfoot. You're going to squat down and back, trying to emphasize the hips. Now for some of us that have restricted our knees for a long time, we're going to be uncomfortable initially loading the hips, and that's okay. You may want to adjust the height a little bit up to make it a little bit less range of motion, and then gradually decrease as you feel more comfortable. But again, the goal is to let the knees relax and just load the hips. Think of a global movement. You're not protecting one joint, you're just doing the squat. So the second exercise is a counterweight squat. So holding a light weight at chest height, you're going to simultaneously press the weight out as you squat down. Now you may want to use that box from the first exercise or maybe not. It's up to your preference. But the goal here is to use the counterweight to help you keep an upright torso while relaxing the knees. In addition, it may be helpful to pause at the bottom to gain confidence in this position and then stand up. Again, the weight should be light and your weight should be over your midfoot for the full movement. And then lastly, just elevating your heel, which can be done by using a small weight or book or Olympic lifting shoe. And what this does is help increase your ankle mobility and put slack in the system. So when you're practicing this squat, it just is a little bit easier initially, and then you can remove as you get more comfortable. And then the type of squat matters. So for instance, if you're doing a front squat where the bar's on your chest and in front of your center of gravity, as you squat down, your knees are probably going to go forward the most. For the high bar back squat where the bar's on your back above the spinal scapula, it'll probably be a little bit less. And then for the low bar back squat where the bar is under your spinal scapula, this will probably be the least amount of knee translation or moving forward of the three. But again, one is not better or worse, it's just different. So depending on the context and the goals, you should select the superior option. So there are a few times when restricting the knee past the toe may be helpful. The first one is early stage rehab. The second one is maybe pain with squats in the knee, so maybe a Spanish squat will help temporarily. And then lastly, for severe cases of patellofemoral pain or just anterior knee pain, again, changing the squats a little bit may put more stress in the hips and less stress in the knee. But for all of these, it's a temporary modification, not a permanent change. So hopefully this helps you be more comfortable squatting. Squatting is such a functional exercise, and often by people just relaxing their knees and finding the right optimal stance, their squat feels so much better. If you did find this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, and make sure to check out our other videos.